I have an opinion that I don't know if you guys would agree with. I think women should really pay for their own kids, okay? Because I'll tell you what, it's like, okay, the average woman gets married at 30, has 1, maybe 2 kids. You've had a decade to save money. Why can't you pay for it?
What?
Why can't? No, seriously. You have a decade. You have a decade to save money.
Because
Get yourself in a family.
Listen, pal, we have biological clocks.
On top of
we
that,
have biological clocks.
No, I'm serious. But women, right now, women are choosing.
Yep.
We're choosing. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying this is what we're doing to wait till 30 to have a child.
Yeah.
Okay. To get married, and have kids, we're waiting. Okay. Fine.
100. Yeah.
But you've had a decade to save money and get in a financial position to pay for it.
I agree.
So it's just like we want both. We want the traditional treatment, but also to wait. I don't care what you want. It's fine, but then pay for it.
Yeah, but the man also makes the kid. It takes a semen
she's not in the bedroom on her own.
And the egg. So
sometimes men are the ones that want kids more than the women.
And now we have.
Hold on.
So why
But they don't have.
take
But they
it?
don't have 50-50 choice.
Of what?
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
if you get pregnant tomorrow, who decides if the kid lives or not?
You do.
My body.
Okay, your body, your choice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the authority to make that decision, right?
Yes.
What comes with authority?
Power.
Okay, well, I was going to say responsibility.
Oh.
Yeah, women tend to forget that part. They tend to forget that part. They like the power and the authority, but they don't want to deal with the responsibility.
Yeah, the responsibility
So
is
if you
there.
have unilateral control of who gets born and not, and you decide I'm going to have this child against the whims of the man, you should pay for it.
Okay, then that's the same reason why women get full most custody and then get full alimony.
No, that's not true.
Innit?
Women get
By
custody.
going by that logic.
Women get custody because the court system favors them.
No, but okay.
And I'll tell you what.
Go on.
And men are punished for being traditional in this country. They are, because the way the court system and see this, I'm gonna talk about this because I know things. Unlike this one over here, no offense.
Yeah,
because the way I don't really care if you went through it. You don't know anything about the legal code. So okay, I'll tell you why. I already know you don't. So it's okay. It's okay. So okay, yeah, I know. Women, it's easy to file restraining orders. I know you don't really need any evidence. So again, this means nothing.
No,
to me.
even
So okay, I'll continue.
And they looked at my whole body.
All right.
That
Let's
was
just,
evidence enough.
Bro,
They
don't
looked at my
prod her
whole
so
body.
much.
There was a
Bro,
witness.
don't prod her so much.
Sorry.
To make your point.
Make
your point.
I'm sorry, Myron.
Yeah,
I just.
yeah.
There was a whole witness there as well. What is wrong
I don't
with you?
really know
Okay.
what your situation was. So again,
Yeah. She's
I'm
got-
talking
she
in
got-
general.
she got chill out.
I'm
It's fine.
talking in
It's fine.
general.
It's fine.
I'm
She got
talking
chill
in
out.
general.
You're talking in general, but you
talking in
came at
general.
me.
I'm talking
You
in
penalized
general.
at me, unlike this one that doesn't know what she's on about.
I mean,
Man,
because
scared.
the reason I said that
Honestly,
is
scared.
Yeah, we need to be respectful of people's experiences.
I'll tell you, the reason I said that is because I asked you specific.
Un
It's
tío
not.
bota batera, estás
The
bien.
reason
No
I
quiero
said that.
saber.
The reason I
English,
said
please.
that. The reason I asked you really specific questions earlier to see if you knew what you're talking about, and it was just clear you didn't. Don't know about your situation. Maybe you were right. Maybe you're wrong. Don't really care.
Oh my God.
I'm done.
All right, make your point, Pearl, and then,
Oh my
and then
days.
just stop prodding her, please. Go ahead.
Okay. So, but I actually forgot the point I was going to make. I'm gonna be honest.
Fantastic.
Well, the
Exactly,
point,
because you don't have
I'll
a fucking
remind you.
plan.
So the point, Carl, the point was
Fantastic.
you're trying to explain why
Okay.
women actually are the ones that get custody and most of the
Oh
alimony.
yeah. Actually, I do remember. Okay, because the way the code is written, it's basically the person that spends the most time with the child. Well, if a man wants to protect and provide for his family, who does that punish? The guy for doing the right thing.
But the children
that's-
spend more time with the mothers. Sometimes men are not as involved.
Correct.
So
Correct.
But
it's because
children that want to go with
right.
the
It's
woman.
because they're at work though.
Yeah.
But and then
Okay.
if you look at let's talk about what's in the best interest of the child. When you look at single father homes, they fare very similar to two-parent households. When you look at
Okay.
single mother homes, they become
I
criminals.
didn't know that. Yep.
They become criminals, drug dealers, school shooters. Every really problem that you can look at in society comes from single mother homes. Single father homes, not the same.
What's the name of the Jeff Dahmer, whatever his name? Wasn't his mom and his dad kind of together, and then he ended up with his dad?
I know there's exceptions.
I'm
There's
just
exceptions
saying.
to
Serial
this.
killer.
There are
There's
a lot of
exceptions to
exceptions
this,
to the
but
rules.
there's
Yes.
exceptions, but it doesn't make the rule. Single father homes fare very similar to single mother homes. So
yeah, and his mom was also a drug addict. What the like?
Well, isn't that a fool for going for a drug addict and getting pregnant? Come on.
Yeah, choosing the wrong partner and held accountable for his choices.
What does that? Hold on. Like you're great at like just straw manning like a random point like that has nothing to do with it to try to make a point, but that doesn't make sense.
Well, you just mentioned his mom being a drug addict, and I just mentioned the father chose a drug addict.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that single father households fare way better than single mother households.
Point that shows you that
you just used an example of a serial killer from the fucking 1970s.
Yes.
Because he committed his first murder, I think, in 1975. You use that as an example to say that what?
The same way you guys use like basis and out of context statistics from studies that you pull out of Google. Like, come on. As an educated woman, I do know that all the stats that you guys repeat a million times that you copy from Kevin Samuels. So I'm just saying.
You literally just use an exception to the rule. And like I said before,
I'm doing
his
as humor
mom,
because it's funny because it's ridiculous.
Name a study, I beg
his mom was a drug addict, and that fucked up his life too.
Listen.
Like,
I'm bringing it up simply because I think it's ridiculous what you're saying. It's
his mom was a degenerate, not his dad.
I'll give you an example. I come from a home where there's only a mother. So it hurts your opinion. And again, I'll give you another example, and I'm a living one. My mom is a single mother, really, a widowed mother, really, who raised her kids from when we were 12, and some of us were even 2, right? Okay. And we are cool. We're not drug dealers, not criminals.
Okay, stop. Hold on one second.
Congrats.
Thank you.
A lot of the women on the panel, I've noticed this trend, and I mean, this is the same shit in Miami. It's amazing. You go over the pond, nothing changes. We'll make an objective argument about a generality on how the world works. You guys will hear that, internalize it, and say, well, that doesn't apply to me, and then go ahead and yap about how you're different. Yeah. Fantastic. But in general, what we're saying is true. The court system does favor women over men. They win most of the custody battles, even though they might not necessarily be a better parent on paper. She literally just told y'all the woman is going to get custody most of the time because she spent more time with the child in the child rearing years. But that might not necessarily make her a better mother because the man was doing his job, which is protecting and providing, which is what y'all all want, by the way. So the court system is heavily in favor of women. And then men, 90% of alimony is paid from men to women. So it is absolutely true that everyone knows that the court systems in the West in general are fucked and geared towards females, which it is what it is. That's a fact, ladies.
But a lot of the time, men don't want involvement with their children.
Well, I'm not sure that's true.
A majority do. A majority do. It's just that there's a bunch of roadblocks in the way, whether it's the woman not allowing the man to be involved, right? Because she wants to hurt him. She'll make lies up about him. Lawyers a lot of times will advise men, hey, it's not worth it to go to court. You're going to lose. So they don't even bother fighting it.
Fine.
It's an uphill battle. So there's a bunch of things that get in. But most men, of course, there's deadbeat fathers.
Yeah, of course,
absolutely. Yeah. But most men, I would say, definitely want to see their kids, just that they don't have the opportunity to. Because a lot of women use kids as
weapons,
a weapon, and weaponize them against the man to get compliance or just hurt them because they're mad about some shit. So again, you guys got really emotional about this abuse thing, but everything we've said is fact. They have changed the definition of abuse for a while.